Wake up! Wake up! Wake up!
Wake up, wake up, it's time to rise and sing the praise of Jesus. Hallelujah, hallelujah. It's time to rise, to sing, to shout, to bring him all your heart. He'll do the bigger part, if you will only make a start.
It will take us only 7 minutes to uncover the trap that endangers all the judgmental people around us. This is your online inspirational evangelist, Brother Noy Gonzaga, and this is our greatest secret of a complete day, the 7 minutes with God. Let us take off with the great biblical insight found in Matthew 7 verse 1. It says, "Judge not, that ye be not judged." This is a very short biblical encryption, but its context of realistic applicability is very deep and accurate. Let me have a different approach from our inspirational devotional today by starting with a story I read from the online world. One day, an 87-year-old lady bought a first-class ticket to go on board a notable airline. However, people along the elite line looked puzzled how an ordinary-looking woman can afford and struggle to buy a very expensive transport accommodation in an airplane. A young man offered to help her with her luggage, and he asked if she is in the first class or the first-class accommodation, and the woman said yes. They have a very good chat, but when the boarding started, they lost contact and the woman struggled to follow instructions to reach her seat. When the flight attendant finally ushered her to the first-class accommodation, the attendant double-checked her ticket, also puzzled between the looks and the accommodation that she had. All eyes were then focused on her with a taste of judgmental connotation, but the old woman just stand on front of her seat number. The person next to her seat placed intendedly a newspaper on her assigned seat, and then when she requested to vacate the chair for her to sit, the man in coat and tie blurted, "Isn't it that I bought a first-class ticket? Why is it that you are giving me companions not in the first-class level, not looking like a first-class person?" The looks of the people around seemed to agree with the rudeness of the unwilling passenger. Then the flight attendant intervened and said, "Sir, I double-checked her ticket and you have the same accommodation." Still, the unwilling person did not take the newspaper on the assigned seat of the old lady and even sarcastically said, "If this is the case, better yet for me to take an economy accommodation than to be in this situation." Things got a little bit rowdy and fuzzy, but not all people seemed to be agreeable with the actions of the arrogant passenger. One passenger, the young man met by the old lady near the ticket booth minutes prior to the boarding, stand up and said, "Sir, with all due respect, you are talking to a senior citizen and a woman at that. At least it would be proper to give that ounce of respect by allowing her to sit where she belongs." Sensing that he was put to shame, the arrogant person removed the newspaper and rudely pointed the 87-year-old lady to the vacant seat. Sensing insincerity in the offer, the old woman asked the flight attendant to just let her go and find a vacant economy accommodation. However, the young man who defended her pleaded for her to stay and take the seat. When everybody was settled and the flight already commenced, people in the first-class area asked the old lady why she wanted to be in this accommodation. The old lady said, "This is the first time I am boarding a plane, and the story behind it is monumental to my purpose." Sensing a deeper essence on her journey, most of the passengers wanted the old lady to tell her story. So she related her story. She was 38 years old when she found the love of her life, but her parents did not want the man for her. But still she married the man. One day, the house where her mother is staying was burned, and the man she loved went in to save her brother and her mother. But both her brother and her loved one died, and only the mother survived. Her brother and her husband were trapped by the fire. The displaced anger of her mother caused her mother to always hurt her and make her life miserable. Adding more complication is the fact that she is pregnant with her husband, who has just died. The day she delivered her baby, her mother seemed to be having a great mental challenge, and instances revealed that the life of the baby is in danger. Sensing that she needs to make a choice, she opted to take care of her mother and have the child be adopted for a better life. 3 decades later, she got in touch with non-government organizations majoring in looking for people who were lost and separated from their loved ones due to poverty and force majeure experiences. Then after so many tries, one day she was informed that her son was found. During this part of the story, the voice of the 87-year-old lady broke as tears fell from her eyes. Then these words came out of her mouth. That is the very reason why I bought this first-class plane ticket, because my son doesn't know that I am here to witness the first day that he will fly this plane. Yes, my son is the captain and pilot of this plane. An astounding silence was witnessed, but the flight attendant was nowhere to be found already. Why? Because she went to the cockpit and whispered something to the pilot. The story of the 87-year-old lady ended when the plane was just minutes from touching down. So the pilot made his announcement. The final descent is about to happen. So this is your captain speaking. We are now on our final position, and in a few minutes, we will be landing this plane. Life is very peculiar because things we do that sometimes we consider as bad can still end up good. Because life is a choice, and when we are doing things for the better, it will always end up great. Today, as your captain, I was told that one person very close to my heart, one that I have been looking for in my entire life, is actually in this plane. She is no other than my mom. I want to tell her that the day she shed a tear to let me go was also the same day that I have forgiven her and longed for her love since that day. For whatever purposes that life may have on me, separations only make my love for my mother stronger. Give me a few minutes to land you all to safety, and I will do the greatest action of my life. Those were the words of the captain of the plane. The plane was landed successfully, and when the pilot went out of the cockpit, he directly go to the seat of his mom and gave him the first real hug that he longed to give. Then he said, "If I was given the choice, Mom, and I was informed that you are here today, I would have let you sit next to me in that driving room so that you can see the world with me. My success is always your success, Mom." The whole first-class accommodation clapped their hands with teary eyes and learned the greatest values and lesson in life through that experience. Friends, everybody in this world has a journey to take, a destiny to reach, and a problem to solve. Let us never justify them as failures, for their experiences might even change our lives and give us better lessons to make our lives better. Who would have known that the person viewed as the 87-year-old ordinary-looking woman is the most important person in the plane that the man flying, the pilot, would be needing. Sometimes, it's very easy to pass judgment. However, often we forget that there is a corresponding responsibility for the judgment that we make. That is why we need to be careful in giving judgment, especially when we are not sure. Judging others is not always a comfortable and a right thing to do. Dear friends, there are times in our lives when we will be misjudged, but there is one being who will never judge us wrongly. Rather, raise our hand to victory. Friends, He is the champion of love, our non-judgmental friend, Jesus Christ.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention? I want to introduce to you, in this corner of the good and the right, stands a champion robed in white.
His height exceeds the heavens, his weight outweighs the world. His reach reaches everywhere, his age is evermore.
He is higher than the highest, greater than the great. No one will ever take his crown away. He's more mighty than the mightiest, he reigns from above. He's the all-time undisputed, undefeated champion of love.
Love, I have a question for you. That question is this: how many of you believe that Jesus is the champion of your life? You know, we're talking about a God who takes care of us better than we take care of ourselves, amen? Listen. He left his hometown to enter this arena, to raise his hand in victory for me. An angry crowd crucified this king who wore their crown, and they gladly watched the champion going down.
But I will never count him out, 'cause I'm a witness of his love. The day he rose to retain the title, champion of love.
He's higher than the highest, greater than the great. No one will ever take his crown away. He's more mighty than the mightiest, he reigns from above. He is higher than the highest, greater than the great. No one will ever take his crown away. He's more mighty than the mightiest, he reigns from above. He's the all-time undisputed, undefeated champion. The all-time undisputed, undefeated champion. The all-time undisputed, undefeated champion of love.
Yes, this world is full of judgmental traps. If we will not be careful and our sights are swayed from God, we might be the next one passing judgments. Or simply, we will be the next one that will be judging others, which is not really godly. One thing is sure, God will never pass judgment on us which are erroneous, because He is our champion of love. This will complete our 7 minutes with God. Have a non-judgmental day to all and be champions of love, because God will always champion for us.
Wake up, it's time to rise and sing the praise of Jesus. Hallelujah, hallelujah. It's time to rise, to sing, to shout, to bring.
Wake up! Wake up!